Greetings to everyone out there in the YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. A Lions Talk Live. It is a Friday morning show edition, and we get it. We're just days away from Detroit Lions hosting Cleveland Browns before they go back on the road for a few weeks. This is a big matchup. We're all going to break it down to the main time of the day. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. I'm also going to talk about, obviously, John Morton giving perhaps the Cleveland Browns a little bit of extra motivation defensively. You know, if you go to the first day of coaching school, a coaching university, one of the first things you're taught as a coach is don't say anything in front of a mic that might be used against you from an opposing team. John Morton, did he really mean anything by it? Probably not, but you know what? You go to the Brown and Orange podcast. You can go to the Cleveland Plain Dealer. You know what? The Cleveland Browns are using it as motivation, and that's part of the problem with it. John Morton in his presser said some stuff, pointed out some of the Lions' strengths, weaknesses, etc., and then gave, unfortunately, a few comments that, yes, throughout Cleveland Plains Dealer, like I said, the Orange and Brown podcast, etc., they are going to be using this, and it's clear they put it out there in front of the players, the Cleveland Browns players, to try to make them aware of it. If they weren't aware of it, that's part of coaching. Don't piss off the other team. Don't give them extra motivation on a Sunday. John Morton, inadvertently, whatever you want to say, maybe he did just that, and we'll break that down to the main topic of the day. Again, John Morton might have to get a big slap on the wrist for that. All right, before we get into that, before we get into the five headlines now, before we get into the breakdown of this game, one other thing. Professor Steele will not be here today. The hitman, he's out on super secret double assignment. So we're going to let him go do that while we all, the Dew crew, kind of take over his slot and take care of it. No Dan O'Damas today. Going to be tomorrow. I didn't have time to get all that stuff set up, and unfortunately couldn't fly him in today. Maybe he'll be on tomorrow's show. I don't know. All right. Also, real quick, if you got a half second of time, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 30 subs away from hitting 14,700. If you can assist with that, I'd be very thankful. Also, if you got it within you, if you got it within your heart and soul and you're willing to do it, it doesn't cost a dime. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more. Thumbs up or likes. Last, but most certainly never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. I'll use over 30 years in the industry to save you time, money, hassle, make sure nobody will charge you, etc., etc. Helping one Dew crew member today up in Holland, Michigan. So go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text. Let's see if I can save you some time, money, etc. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get this show rock and rolling and going and kick it off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming your way. The Lions already seeing progress on Marcus Davenport's injury. Fan side story by John Afford. So it makes you wonder, and I do want to give credit where credit's due. Hutch Jr. sent this over to me yesterday. I didn't have time with having to go up to Holland, etc., to help out a Dew crew member with the search for a property. But, hey, Davenport's already out of the sling, already going through some recovery processes. Whatever the full ailment is, the chest, shoulder, whatever it is, it can't be that much. The fact he's already appears to have full range of motion, I guess the Lions probably were just being cautious with him. Maybe that's the best way to view it. He's going to be back probably in 4 weeks, not 8 weeks or whatever. How long he holds up after that, I don't know. well, I think all fans can say, hey, Aquadine Muhammad, you look pretty dang good out there. We also want to make sure that, at least in my opinion, we get Davenport back, if nothing else, for the rotation. Because you know what? If you don't have to play either one of those guys a ton, you keep them a little fresher, keep them a little healthier. And that, as the Lions pass rush continues to evolve, probably helps out all involved. Aleem McNeil, we'll see when he gets back, but he's probably closer to being back along with Rodrigo. Man, you think about adding Davenport, who's been productive when healthy, with the mix with some of these other guys. Maybe Brad Holmes is right. Maybe we are good. With that being said, there was some word that came out yesterday for a story I'm working on. I'm just trying to get more confirmations. Lions might be trying to work some kind of a deal for a player of interest. And no, it's not going to be a household name type of guy, but it does sound like Lions and Brad Holmes are working on something. All right, how the Lions edge rushers can further prove on Sunday against the Browns that Brad Holmes was right all along. A to Z Sports, story by Mike Payton. I'm just going to put this real simple. Yes, they can. Sunday's game, you guys get it. The Browns offense is not, it's barely NFL level. They do have a couple younger pieces, to be fair, watching their first couple of games, breaking down. They do have some younger parts that aren't bad, especially if they had better offensive line help, better quarterback play, better wide receivers. I mean, if you have better talent out there, it makes everybody else better. I think the Lions pass rush is going to be at home, assuming the Lions run defense holds up, forces Flacco and the Browns offense to have to face, second and long, third and long. You probably will see some opportunities for sacks. Watching the Browns receivers and tight ends, they do have some ability. I just think you saw better abilities in many of the first few games we've had. If those teams struggle to really put up a ton of points against us, I think the Browns are going to really, really struggle. The question is going to come down in this game. We'll break it down to the main topic of the day, whether the Browns defense can keep this game close enough to where it matters. If they can't, you know what? It ain't going to matter. Lions can pour it on. But they're going to put a lot of pressure on that front seven to get home against the Lions. If they can limit the Lions offense, you know what? Maybe we won't have as many opportunities to sack the opposing quarterback. All right, Jared Goff said what every Bears fan still thinks about Dave Montgomery. Bears goggles on, story by Ryan Heckman. You know what? Jared Goff, he's not afraid to throw shade, at least kind of subtle shade at opposing teams. He had an interview yesterday on the radio, threw some shade at the Bears organization for letting David Montgomery walk, letting him become a Detroit Lion, and I don't disagree with him. You look at what D. Monty's done, and I know if Broski's watching this show, he'll jump and say, man, he runs like he's got a piano on his back, as I think that's what Broski would say in years past. But Dave Montgomery, all he does is keep playing, keep going forward, keep putting up numbers, putting up a great career. It begs the question, why did the Bears let this dude walk, especially to a divisional rival? I don't know. And it's a great thought there to be had and answered. But Jared Goff, he continued to beat down on the point in a recent interview on the radio. And I'll just say this. I think all Lions fans would probably agree the Lions are very, very thankful the Bears messed up. You look at how the Bears draft, how they develop, what Ryan Poles is willing to admit about why he let him go. I don't know. He was banking clearly more on former Lion DeAndre Swift to continue the workload for the Bears running attack. And to be fair, DeAndre Swift's had some decent games for him. I just think, man, you look at what the Bears offense could have been if you would have kept D. Monty, probably would have been in a whole different gear. He pass blocks way better than DeAndre Swift. He powers through the line of scrimmage better than, most other running backs, and that includes DeAndre Swift. His ability in passing games, maybe Swift's a little bit better at pass catching. I don't know, but I think you're kind of splitting hairs there. Caleb Williams also had some comments about it, even though he doesn't really know Montgomery other than playing against him. Did say, man, he thought the Bears maybe would have been in a different gear if they would have kept D. Monty. So everybody likes to have revisionist history. Ben Johnson also probably would have preferred to have him. Obviously knows him, but it is what it is. Jared Goff threw everybody under the bus. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, said, man, your mistake was our gain. And you know what? I think he's pretty right on that. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Jameson Williams delivers big take about not getting targeted. NFL on clutch points. Mike Granos with this one. Jameson Williams, A couple of you guys in yesterday's video, man, you guys sent me some real great messages about it. And a lot of Lions fans, you go back maybe at the start of last year or definitely 2 years ago, hated the guy. Not everybody, but, some of them, he's always in trouble. Man, what's he do? He's hurt, blah, blah, blah. Just, we're in your feelings about it. Last year, that seemed to change a lot for the Lions fan base. People started seeing the potential grow from this kid. And yes, he got into another situation, even though nothing came of it. But a lot of you reached out and pointed out how much this guy has grown up, matured or whatever, talked about the comments or social media posts, however you want to term that, about his brother, and just said, man, we've given him a whole lot of flack for what he's done or what his family's done or some of the stupid things he's done in his time in Detroit, but also shows what he's grown up with. Where he was to who he is now, he's clearly matured. You check out this story, and I would encourage you guys, if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to love Jameson Williams or hate him or whatever, check out this story, because I think he's got some outstanding quotes out there. Talking about his lack of targets, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, forgive me for that, but talking on 97.1, the ticket just said, hey, we played as good as an offense. There's going to be games I'm going to get more shots. There's going to be games other people get more shots. He's not worried about it. He's worried about the team. He's worried about running. He's worried about winning. He's worried about doing his part to help the team win. And he goes on to point out, hey, it was a game where we pounded the rock more. I'm asked to do other things, and he enjoys run blocking. He enjoys seeing his teammates do, big things, be successful. Happy when he sees David Montgomery have a breakout game. Happy to see when St. Brown is called up on a fourth down to, get open and catch the ball. He also knows for success for those other guys, he's got to go out and do his job. So we often talk about maturity of players. Sometimes, yesterday we were talking about TA as well, talking about, hey, he's 3 games into his sophomore year in the NFL. Why isn't he a Hall of Fame player? Sometimes it takes time for these guys to get there. Jameson Williams needs to get a lot of credit, in my opinion, in breaking down the story, reading through it, maybe checking out the radio broadcast of 97.1 with it. He's not worried about his stats. He's worried about the Detroit Lions. He's worried about what role am I asked to do on this play. I'm going to do it. And he wants this entire team to be a family and move forward together. I give the guy a lot of praise because, again, look at where he was when he was first drafted as an individual, let alone a player, and see where he is now. This kid's come a long way, and you know what? I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of him. I hope he's a Detroit Lion for a long time to come. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Penei Sewell's dominance in Week 3 was clearly reflected by Mark's Pro Football Focus sideline report. Brad Behrman with this one. We did talk about it when we did the Pro Football Focus grades earlier in the week. I don't remember what day it was, but you guys might. The fact that he got nearly a 100 grade, let that sink in. There were some people after Week 1 saying, man, Penei Sewell looks like he's washed up, looks like he can't do this anymore. But what have you seen every week? Not just from him, but from the Lions offensive line. Troy Aikman and whatever the other guy's name is, Buck or whatever, Joe Buck, during the broadcast, talked a lot about the Lions offensive line. They had to go through a lot of changes, a lot of reshuffling, as we are all aware, during the offseason. And now, when you look at just the last 2 games versus game 1, you see clear progression forward. The fact that Penei Sewell had a 98-plus rating, and remember, the highest you can have is 100. Nobody gets 100. Let me also throw that out there. But the fact that he got a 98.7 PFF grade and a 99.3 run blocking grade basically tells you all you need to know about this guy if he's washed up or not. He is a generational talent. I'll throw him out there with the likes of a Michael Jordan. He's that rare as an offensive lineman. And I get linemen don't get, a lot of sexy posts or highlight videos or whatever. It's just not part of their position. People often overlook them. But you know what? If you're a coach or if you guys just want to be a fan and watch some tape today or tomorrow getting ready for Sunday's game, go and just fixate your eyes. Don't watch the ball. Watch the offensive line. Spend some time watching Penei Sewell, and you will see one of the most impressive football players your eyes have ever feasted on. I don't care if you're talking about Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, Lawrence Taylor, Lamar Jackson, whatever else. Those guys are all superstars without question. They're going to be, they are Hall of Famers or will be Hall of Famers in some cases. But Penei Sewell's also that type of player. And the fact that it doesn't get talked about enough, probably just shows you the offensive linemen, no matter what you do, you can't make them look any better than what most people think they are because, they don't get the ball, they don't get stats or whatever, so people kind of forget about it. But what he's doing these last 2 games, we may never see again. I hope he keeps doing it all season long because I do think Troy Aikman was right. As this offensive line gets better and better, grows, develops, matures, gels, this Lions offense is going to get scarier and scarier just because you're going to open up more holes in the running game. You're going to offer more pass blocking. And you know what? You give either one of those 2 components more time, you will chew up any defense. I don't care how good it is. All right, last one I've got for you. I threw a bonus one in here since Professor Steele's on super secret assignment. Browns will destroy Detroit. Orange and Brown Talk podcast. I did try to spend some time behind enemy lines trying to look up some stuff for you guys. And while this is an article, it's a podcast, listen to it. Let me tell you, the Browns are convinced they can come in here and beat Detroit. It's not a far drive or, if they want to fly, I guess it's not a far flight. My guess is they're taking buses, but I don't really know that. Whatever it is, they know it's a short distance to Detroit. They broke down, apparently, the Lions offense, and they think their defense can stop us. No problems at all. Their offense, they do admit, has got some problems, but they actually took some shots at the Detroit Lions defense. Said they think they can run on that front 7 of Detroit, and they do not believe the Detroit Lions secondary, including the linebackers, can cover their guys. They anticipate Flacco is going to shine this game. We're going to break this down more in-depthly during the main top of the day, but just so you guys know, the Cleveland Browns are not rolling into this game thinking they're going to beat by 10, 15, 29 points or whatever the current lines are. So without further ado, let's break down this weekend's game because you know what? I think it is going to be closer than most thought. Where's that button? All right, John Morton, as we put in the thumbnail, probably gave the other team a little bit of extra motivation. Had some comments come out, and you know what? Like I already said, whether you're talking about the Plains dealer, whether you're talking about the Orange and Brown podcast, this also comes from our friend at Colton Pouncey, who covers the Detroit Lions. Lions OC John Morton on the Bengals run defense, which ranks first in yards per game and allowed at 57.3. That ain't much. You are holding teams on the ground when they're trying to run when you only give up that kind. Quote, I don't think they've seen a running game like ours yet, end quote, from John Morton. And again, one of the things you learn first day of coaching, especially if you're going to be a head coach or assistant coach or OC, DC, special teams coordinator, whatever it is don't give the other team rocket fuel to use. Don't give them anything they can post up in their locker room or their practice facilities and say, hey, we're going to prove that dude wrong. It's easy to see that the Cleveland Browns, they want to be relevant again. They had a massive win last week. We get it. They beat the Green Bay Packers. And yes, they're trying to continue that streak. They do have the ability on defense to shut down a game. They also now have some motivation. To most people on planet Earth, that sentence probably isn't groundbreaking. You're probably moving on with your day. But let me ask you this. If you're one of the Cleveland Browns defensive players, whether you're a starter or backup, are you looking at that statement and saying, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, he didn't mean anything about it. No, you are trying to psych yourself up into playing at an even higher level. And who may suffer for that? Jared Goff, the receivers, and definitely the running backs, because they're going to want to prove you can't run on us. So again, coaching 101, don't piss off the other team. That also being said, let's break down this game because I do think the Lions are going to win. I do think, though, the Cleveland Browns are going to make it interesting. And yes, sorry, Dan O'Dama's going to make it in today. All right, before we get into the breakdown, let's walk through some injuries. Lions do have some, although I do anticipate most of these injuries aren't going to keep anybody out of the game. Derek Barnes played a heck of a game, I thought, especially because tape don't lie, as some people like to say. I thought he was all over the field, used in multiple different roles. You can see what Shep's game plan for Barnes is, why they re-signed him. He can play defensive end. He can play, I'd say, 2, maybe all 3 of the linebacker spots to a certain degree, but he was a heck of a force out there on Monday night. He's got a knee injury. I don't think it's going to keep him out, but we'll see. Aquadine Muhammad also had a knee. I think they're just resting it. He's probably going to start again. Taylor Decker, let's face it, probably all season long, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he's probably not doing much in practice other than, thumb wrestling some kid over there. He's probably not putting his body in any kind of way, shape, or form. in any kind of physical activity. They're going to protect that shoulder. They're going to protect, remember, his ankle from a couple seasons ago. They want him to just be fresh on game day. He doesn't need the reps. And as some of you guys in that league pointed out, it does give more first-team reps than to Giovanni Manu or other people to try to grow and develop. So I'm fine with it if the coaches are fine with it. All right, DJ Reed, he's got a cramper. He should be fine, no problems at all. But, hey, this time of year when bodies are still getting used to football-shaped conditioning in games, cramps do happen. Sion Vaki can't get out of his own way. I don't know what's going on with this kid. He's got a hamstring injury one week. He's got a groin injury next week. You know what? He's just injured. How about that? Daniel Thomas, forearm. No real specifics other than he had a forearm injury. You could see that they put his forearm in a splint/cast. We'll see how long he's going to be on the sidelines. Notable unlisted injuries. Kirby Joseph's been dealing with a knee for 2 months now. He seems to go sort of like Taylor Decker. You limit him in practice, let him go in the games. He's going to play. Aiden Hudson, he did leave Monday night's game with his left knee ice wrapped after the game. Good to see that he appears to be fine in practice and whatever. We did talk about it earlier this week. I think the Lions are aware after 3 games, you have a body of evidence that teams are trying to be overly physical with Aiden Hudson. Hey, let's face it. While you can be whoever you are in media or coaching order and say, hey, if you can't beat double teams, you're not an elite player. He's been beating him. I don't think the tape is going to show something different. Now, is he beating him to always get sacks? No, but we've also talked about this in recent weeks. The Lions coaching staff isn't asking this front seven to just simply go after the quarterback. First, second down is containment. Third down, if it's long, now you can go after the quarterback, but don't give up rushing lanes for mobile quarterbacks or running backs. And that seems to be what's happening. Now, when it's clearly a passing down, they do unleash the fury. We saw that Monday night. Graham Glasgow may have gotten rolled up in the second quarter, appears to have avoided any kind of real major injury, although he did see him limping a little bit during the game. But, hey, part of being an offensive line, especially when you have a physical running game, you are going to get hit from behind. And thankfully, none of the Lions offensive linemen have been hurt too much. All right, must miss the first 4 games this season. Lee McNeil, you already know. Malcolm Rodriguez, Miles Frazier, Josh Pascal. We'll find out what's going on with him in time. Let's see. Rest of it, we're not going to worry about. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns. This is a big blow from them. Their offense already wasn't great. Jack Conklin, offensive tackle. He's missed the last 2 games. He's going to be probably iffy to say the least. And then the other starting offensive tackle, Dwan Jones, just went on the IR this week. So their offensive line was not great at the start of the year, even less great now. Joe Bitcoin, the offensive guard, he's a pretty good one for them. He's had a bit of a back issue in recent weeks. I think it's going to limit his ability to really hold up this season. Who knows, man? Maybe since I guess if I'm a coach, I look at his situation from both sides of the knife, I guess you could say. You play him against Detroit, try to win a second game, go 2-2, but it's not a conference game nor a division game. Or do I help him rest that back, which, hey, only way to help a back get better is rest, and then get him ready for more divisional games. We'll see what they do. Myles Garrett, nothing big, rest day. Mike Hall, defensive tackle. He's got a knee injury. Whether or not it's going to keep him out, we'll see, but he did not practice yesterday. Joby Harris, also a defensive tackle, hamstring injury, no go. Limited practice. David Nwadra, the tight end, had a knee injury. Thankfully, he's got 2 knees. Limited practice. Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, hand and hip injury, and then no practice. Denzel Ward, cornerback for them, and you guys probably know about him. He's pretty dang good. So where do the Lions have some advantages? Let's break this down. Quarterback play, I'm going Lions all the way. Running back, Lions all the way. Receivers, it was actually a little bit closer when I watched the Cleveland Browns guys than I would have anticipated. Let me say that's relative. If the Lions wide receiving core, and I'm going to throw tight ends in here, are a 10 out of 10, the Browns are probably like a 7.5 out of 10. I didn't think it was going to even be that close, but, close is relative. Offensive line, it's Detroit all the way. Sorry, looking at my notes here. I don't see a very versatile offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, which affects their running game. I don't think they're getting out into space doing any pulls or screens, or at least with the offensive line, just because I don't think they have those kind of guys. Now, the defense, as you guys probably anticipated, this is where things started getting a little bit closer. The front 4 alone, when I'm talking here, it's the Cleveland Browns. And you can throw whoever you want on this list. they're different than the Detroit Lions. Now, that being said, if they're a 10, 1 out of 10, they're a 10. Lions, I'm going to say, are an 8. When Aleem, the Dream, gets back, probably an 8.5. Maybe if he really supersedes expectations, you push him up a little bit higher, but I'm going to say the Lions are an 8. So the Lions are in the vicinity, but the Browns are better. Linebackers, not so much. I would say the Browns linebackers and Lions are basically tied. They're different. They have some different skill sets, but overall in their ability to play, it's about a tie. The secondary, Lions have a better safety combination, in my opinion. And I'll say the Lions are a 10, the Browns are an 8. They're pretty good, the Browns safeties are, but I don't think they're at our level. The cornerback position, though, assuming they can all play for the Browns, that's where it does change. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10, and the Lions probably overall 7.5 to an 8. Lions secondary has played pretty good. And yes, I know we all like to take shots at it. Man, this guy's always giving up catches. A lot of people like to point on Terry Arnold. But go back, look at the Green Bay game. From the second quarter on, I thought our secondary locked everybody up for Green Bay. You go to the Chicago Bears game, okay, fine. It's easy to just say we just dominated that game. But our secondary holds up real well there. Against the Baltimore Ravens, you guys know it as well as I do. Ravens were coming in, scoring a gajillion points, tearing up everybody. Zay Flowers couldn't be stopped. And you know what happened from the second quarter on, for the most part, for the Detroit Lions secondary? They shut them down. Definitely the second half. But I thought really you get about 3 minutes into the second quarter, maybe it was 4 minutes, the Lions secondary really locks up. They seem to have some points in the games using just the Baltimore Ravens first half and then the Green Bay first half, or maybe it's from some schematic things. Lions secondary needs some time to adjust. Maybe Kelvin Shepard needs to adjust some things. I don't know. We'll figure that out the further season goes along. But you get past that point, whether it's Shep, whether it's these corners, and I'm going to include the safeties in there with it. The Lions secondary is just tough to throw on. They stick pretty dang tight. We all know they like to play a lot of man coverage. But that man coverage is not giving up a whole lot of space or separation. Again, after the first couple drives of the game. Even go back to Monday night's game. You think about how often they had to throw, the Ravens had to throw in that second half, especially the fourth quarter, and Lamar sitting holding the ball for 2 to 5 seconds, and he can't find anybody to cleanly throw to. That's a credit to the coaching staff. That's a credit to the front, four, let alone the secondary, who's not giving up enough separation for him to have any easy reads. We need to consider all that. All right, special teams. I think it's Detroit all the way, and I'll put it this way. We're complaining about some of our special teams coverage units. It is a problem. The Browns have a bigger problem there. As far as kicker, I'm going to say Bates is a, 8.5 out of 10. I think the Cleveland kickers are like a 7 out of 10. Punting game, it's Detroit all the way, 10 out of 10, and I think their punter, man, he gets a lot of work. I'll put it that way for him. All right, Duke Crew, that's what I got for you. As far as a score prediction, again, sorry I didn't get Daniel Damas out here today. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions 35, the Cleveland Browns 17. I do think a lot of that score separation happens late third quarter, fourth quarter. I think it's going to be a game. But as long as we take care of the ball, as long as we don't give up stuff on kick and punt returns, turnovers, stuff like that, I think it's going to be just difficult for the Browns to keep up with us. I have all sorts of respect watching that defense on tape. I think they are going to make it a challenge for us. The problem becomes at home. You guys saw it in Green Bay. It's hard to communicate when you're a road team, especially if the crowd's really going to be into it. I was actually going to go to the game with a couple of neighbors. Unfortunately, because some scheduled conflicts emerged where they like to get out there and they want to start tailgating at like 7:30, 8:30 in the morning. And unfortunately, I can't, hit the road at 5 o'clock in the morning and head out there. So I'm going to have to pass on it. But either way, that crowd's going to be dang packed at Ford Field. They're going to make it tough on the Browns. And I just don't see where the Browns can score enough points if we don't assist them with turnovers or big punt and kick returns, etc. So for that reason alone, I think the Lions are going to pull it out. That Browns defense, though, if they can keep them around, who knows? Maybe they can pull a rabbit out of their hat for the second week in a row. All right, Duke Crew, let's get over to you guys, see what you have to say. And if you got anything to throw out there, one other thing I want to throw at you guys. I know some of you guys have reached out about me breaking down game tape with you guys, doing the coaching stuff. I don't mind doing that stuff, especially as we get into a little bit slower part of the year when it comes to real estate. but I do have a thought for you guys. I don't know. Would you guys actually want to do like a live cast where maybe I can't actually show the whole game, but I can show like, a segment here, I have to keep it under 10 seconds when I show game film, but show it here and then break down the X's and O's of it all. Would you guys enjoy that stuff? I know a lot of you guys have reached out over the years about it, and I'm trying to think of ways to interact with you guys more and, give you something different that maybe you don't see all the time somewhere else. Let me know your thoughts. Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Back at you, JDC, morning all, and same to you. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Oh boy, Johnny, Mo, exclamation point. Woo! Yeah. I mean, I don't think John Morton meant anything by it, but then again, it doesn't matter. Somebody is going to use that stuff against you. I remember years and years ago coaching, I just simply talked to Mike about, hey, like the All-Stars were announced. And, I just said, hey, I like this kid better than that kid. I didn't even coach either of them. And, I shouldn't say kids, these people, because they were 20-something, 30-something-year-old All-Stars overseas. And, man, I got so much flack from all the fans of the person I picked over the other one. I mean, it's something as simple as that people will use as rocket fuel against you. Gary, morning, everyone. Same to you. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah, we need another win this Sunday. Man, you get this one. I think you got a real good shot against the Bungles. And you know what? From there, who knows? Maybe you get Tampa Bay. Maybe you get Kansas City as well. Not in that order. Johnny L, great morning, folks. Same to you. John King, morning, Coach Crew. Browns have a great defense. They do, which makes them dangerous. Ask Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay couldn't score. Green Bay couldn't, do enough to control the game. And because of that Browns offense, who couldn't do much, they found just enough to get it done. But that was in Brown Stadium University, whatever you want to call it. Johnny L, so what did he say? And now you know, Johnny L, believe it or not, this one's got me a little nervous. It should, man. The Browns are no joke. Their offense is terrible. And there's no way to avoid saying that. They're not good. I think Cleveland fans get that. But that defense, man, it is too legit to quit. Johnny L, just a little. Big Daz, Browns have a good D. Exclamation point. We have to keep them off our quarterback. Yes, you will. I won't be surprised. We see a lot of 12 personnel just to achieve that. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And back at you, Henry. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. I would think as a coach, you are always trying to not upset the other team. Might not think about things like that. Yeah, I don't think he meant any kind of shot at it, saying, hey, they haven't seen a running game like ours, but you said it. And people are always looking to use stuff against you in the world of sports. And I'm sure it's true in other aspects of life. But that locker room for the Cleveland Browns, they're going to be fired up. They get to Ford Field. Some coach is going to be doing their job. Going to have a big rollout and put it across the locker room. They don't think you can do this. They don't think you can do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come out and try and prove you're wrong. Johnny L, good morning, Henry. Jess, greetings, sanitation, y'all. Upset the Browns all you want. Their D is lights out. Their offense can't find the light switch. That might be accurate. Johnny L, I want to know what he said, and now you know, my friend. Drake, the Browns are going to look for anything they can to get their hands on for motivation. They let this game, if they win this game, they are 2-2 and look to be in the running for the division. Yeah, well said. Well said indeed. Johnny L, do you know Jess? Tell her we good. Hey, that is something I think we heard before. Jess, know what? Hookadoo. Good morning, good people of the Duke Crew. Cleveland's defense isn't no joke, but we got this! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. David, you have to be smart on the mic. Yeah, I would agree with that. As a player or coach, people will always look to use your words against you. Well said, 100%. No lies there. Johnny L, what did he say? Just a good morning, Hookadoo. Rance, Morton doesn't strike me as a very self-aware type. That could be accurate. He could be a little introverted. Hookadoo, top of the morning. Johnny L, our grip wins games. Let's it. Yes, it does. And hey, the Dan Campbell effect is there for all to see. Just, I don't know, but he talked trash about the Browns' run defense. I'm assuming that's what it is. You were correct. Mark GT, I can't wait to see how our offensive line does against Cleveland. Let's flip and go. I'll go with that. And yeah, I agree. You want to see how much this line has evolved from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4, the first month of the season. This is a major test. They pass this test. I got to imagine, well, there's some other great defenses in the NFL we'll see. This is a big one for them. Johnny L, not smart. I concur. Attila, that his team would win on Sunday, and this isn't the same with Lions. Hopefully the home crowd backs up his sentiments. Well, hopefully the crowd gets out on the field and plays for him. Xavier, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Have a blessed day! Exclamation point. Too much media drama. Always, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Johnny L, Tilla, that's not as bad as I thought it could be. All right. Steve Rogers, I think the game comes down to the final plays. The defense is going to challenge us while the Browns offense might struggle. Yeah, so don't help out the Browns offense, and we're probably in a much better position. Until then, just normal offensive coordinator confidence, not the PC boring Ben Johnson stuff. Okay, Johnny L. Hey, Jess, did you see what Tilla said? We'll find out. Tilla, close first half and kick, but second half you'd expect. All right. Xavier, Jared Goff is the best quarterback the Lions ever had. Exclamation point. Woo! He's definitely in the conversation without question. Dylan, I heard what he said. Watch his press conference. All right. Jess, I seen what he said, something about the Browns run defense hasn't seen a running game like ours. Don't give the other team something to fire up and rally behind. Shake my head. Yeah, I agree with you. I always tell players at any level, I don't care if it's Pee-wee, I don't care if it's, CFL, NFL. Don't say anything that can be motivation for somebody else, because if it doesn't take much. You make it to the professional level in any sport, you're there for a reason. You have intrinsic abilities that most human beings do not. And now if you add some motivation to that, oof, it's not good. Johnny O, I didn't see that press, Attila. Yeah. Just players and teams don't need much to get fired up. Don't need them playing their butts off to prove a point against us. Stupid Martin. I would have probably not encouraged it. I'd put it that way. Jennifer, good morning. All exclamation point. Same to you. Susan, their defense is good enough. Doesn't need to have them playing at a high rate. I agree. Attila, first the J-Mo's brother, then Morton sounds confident. What's next? They say have a drag out, question mark, a quote from 5 years ago. Maybe have them have a drag out fight. Ooh, maybe we get an orchestrated pay-per-view event. I guess John Morton versus, the Browns defensive front. That's probably not going to go well for us. Johnny L, honestly, I wouldn't be talking smack about any team on our schedule. Agreed with that. Let sleeping dogs lie. I've shared this quote before. It served me very well in coaching. When your enemies are making mistakes, don't interrupt them. That comes from Napoleon Bonaparte. And I agree. Don't do anything to help wake up a sleeping person that you might be facing. Xavier, grit is the key to Lions' success! Exclamation point. You are 1,000% right, my friend. Silver Server, good morning to you, Coach, and all the Lions fans. And back at you, Big Eddie. You all have nothing to worry about. We are not losing at the home to the Browns. Green Bay messed up, overlooked them. That's all. Could be right. Maybe it was just that. I hope we win by 9,000 points. But I think the Browns defense is pretty good. Bo, if the Browns defense needed something John Morton said to get motivated for this game, they have bigger problems. Yeah, all right, maybe. Johnny L. Grit, morning, Xavier. Just to be honest, I kind of like it. Morton believes in his players and his team. Heck, run up the score on them and talk some more trash. Maybe that's what he'll do. Maybe it's part of his plan. Xavier, Lions 35, Browns 14. I like the way you're thinking. Queen Mary, excuse me. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Happy Friday to all. Back at you. Johnny L. Game is over. Jedi Sith music. I hope Morton is right and they haven't seen a running attack like ours. Yeah, I hope so too, man. I hope hope we score 9,000 points. Johnny L. Good morning, Mary. Xavier, happy Friday. Mary Smith, exclamation point. Mary Smith, good morning, Johnny L. Are we bringing all the grit this morning? I'm sure it is, in droves. Carrie, morning, Mary, Queen Mary, hookadoo. Good morning, Little Miss Mary Smith. Tori Apple, I'm hoping TA has a pick and a sack this game. I do too, man. I mean, I think he's playing well. I don't think he's an all-world player, but I think he's definitely progressing. And I get, some Lions fans, we get fixated as human beings on a take. In this case, Terrion Arnold's no good. And then we don't pay attention to the good stuff. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what shakes. Oh, Johnny Moe said he really respects Jim Schwartz, among many other good things about the Browns defense. Yeah, Schwartz is no joke. I enjoyed him when he was coaching. He was towards the end of my tenure as a beat reporter covering the Lions. But, and he was always pretty decent. We all probably remember, at least if you're old enough to remember, him chasing down Jim Harbaugh, at the end of a game. I mean, that was classic. Mary Smith, my Grip brothers, y'all ready for some football? We shall see. Johnny L, Mother Mary, full of grace. Yes, I am, says Johnny. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Can't stay on long today. Just want to say hi and see you all Sunday or Monday. Wish me luck. Wish you luck. Hey, hopefully it goes very well for you tomorrow. I was born ready, Mary. I feel your grit building. All right, Mary Smith. I think they're going to start Amik Robinson Sunday. There's been some conversation about that for sure. Michael, good luck, Stephanie. Joseph, good luck, Stephanie. Johnny L, kick some butt, Stephanie. Carrie, ready for some more ball punch outs and pressure. Let's make both of those happen. Jessica, good luck, Stephanie. Exclamation point. Silver Server, John Morton, not the best impressors. I would agree with that. Probably needs a little polishing up. We already know that, but hey, if he feels talking and swagger road, well, why not? Question mark. We have some fun with all this points. Yes, I'll go with that. Johnny L, good luck to you, Stephanie. Bo, quote, I don't think we've seen a running game like ours. End quote. True statement. So there we go. Mary Smith, good, Stephanie, good luck. Miles Martyr, true statement. I second that. 5 fingers ready. I strongly disagree with Morton giving Cleveland motivation. That said, he did. So now we have to back it up. Yeah, 100%. Nothing you can do about it now. All you can do is say, hey, your coach felt that strongly about your abilities to say, hey, they can't slow you down. Now what do? You go out there and prove them right. Or her right. Or whoever right. Okay, Grit is on your side, Stephanie. You got this. Just like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you've got this, Stephanie. Exclamation point. Hopefully she does more socking than rocking. I don't know. Johnny L, I second that emotion. I feel like I've heard that before. Lauren, yo, good morning, Duke Crew. I made it before 7. Woo! Hey, thank you for all you do there, Lauren. Silver Surfer, Mary, better believe that. And Meek, for sure. Tyrion, better focus on football and less about thinking he is already a star. He needs to work and think less about other things, perhaps too many. Yeah, we'll see if he's thinking too much. Johnny L, woo! And I could go with that. Pat, I watched the interview. I didn't hear anything that would fire them up. There, again, this is the media making more out of it. Well, at least according to Cleveland Browns themselves, the Orange and Brown podcast, the Cleveland Plains dealer, the Browns are using it for motivation. But again, talking as a coach myself, if you said something like that right before we played you guys, I'd make sure every player on my team was aware of it. I would put it all throughout the field, all throughout the locker room. Anything you can do to get your team to play at a higher rate, you do it. So maybe to most people on planet Earth, this isn't anything. To me as a coach, if I found out one of my OCs, DC, special teams people said something like this, I'd slap them in the face and say, what the heck are you doing? You don't do anything to motivate the other team. Let sleeping dogs lie. When your enemies are making mistakes, don't interrupt them. Don't do something to upset them. And now, man, they're going to play at an even higher rate. And you don't want that. Mary, yeah, for Lauren, good morning. Yeah, I'll go for that. Carrie, Steph, show them what Ben Sinister is. All right, I don't know what that means. EU up pickers, greatest sanitations, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. One pride, go Lions! Exclamation point. I concur. Johnny L, can you give me a Sheila Woo? You know what? You want a Sheila Woo? I'll give you a Sheila Woo. If I can find it on the screen, I'll go 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you gotta look harder to find stuff. Hookadoo, Miles Margaret has just entered the building of grit! Exclamation point. Good morning, Miles Margaret. Until the Hun, they should be afraid of Shep and his army. Yeah, I mean, they have played well, especially that game plan he had Monday. I give him a lot of credit for that. Carrie, woo! There you go. Lauren, morning, Miles Margaret. Robert, woo! Miles Margaret. Grit, morning, Hookadoo. Lauren, hit him with a Ric Flair. Woo! Man, we are wounded up in here. Big Daz, good luck, Steph. Bring home the KO! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Coach Rock, good morning, all if it's all right. Carrie, good morning, everyone. Motown Mitch, what if the Lions buy $1 million over the Browns? Let's make that happen. Where is Dan Thomas? Didn't make it in today. Motown Mitch, Browns. Let's see, Coach Rock. If he said it was there, haven't seen an offense like us, and they're grabbing for air. Yeah, let's hope they are. They're grabbing at air. Coach Rock, the Browns D doesn't need that little bit of info. They're good without it. Yes, they are. JK, what you said? What did you say? Miles Marker, laughing out loud. Rock, my thought exactly. Hookadoo, grit, Rock, yes, sir. Michael, 1601 is still in the Lions table. Oh, yeah, with an exclamation point. Mary, good morning, Rock. Steve, Myles Garrett is a freak, and he might be a 9-6 score. It might be, man. But, yeah, watching what he's doing, it's just hard to replicate what he does, especially for a man his size. he's got the fluidity, the leap, the bend of somebody who's probably like 20 to 30 pounds less weight than him. It's impressive how physically gifted he is. Mouse Marker, sub, like, share, copy, please. Johnny L. Thunder and Lightning. Oh, yeah. Joseph up in Holland. Yes, indeed. Lions Talk Live fan. Good morning, Deweys. King Dot says, 38-3, Detroit over Cleveland. Well, I would take that in a heartbeat, my friend. Chashing him, 171 watchings, 41 likes, question mark, math not mathing. Yes, if you guys could hit the like, copy, subscribe, all that stuff. Holland Dutch said, JK, Miles Marga, I thought that Joseph. All right, Lauren, JK, my family name originates from Holland, still some family there. Enjoy. Joseph, haha. Thomas, I have not even keeping Davenport on my mind. He comes back, great! Exclamation point. If not, don't care at this point. We'll see what shakes out. Pat, who got a running game like ours? We'll find out. Johnny L, what does the crowd next to your name mean? The crowd next to your name mean? It's like some sort of experience points or something like that. Maybe somebody in the comment section can identify it better than me. Lions Talk Live fan, good morning. JK, Lauren, I have family there right now too. Tilla, no news on Pascal. No official updates that I've seen anywhere. I just hope he's doing okay, man. Coach Rock, good morning, Hookadoo. I saw your question when I got back from taking my granddaughter to school. I coach high school football and travel hockey and my granddaughter's softball team. All right, Thomas, Three Stooges, I bonks the like y'all. Thank you for that. Johnny L, anything on Ahmed? No, nothing as of yet. Egon, did he say Aquadine Muhammad? Might be, maybe he did. Lions Talk Live fan, 45-9. Woo! I'll go with that. Thomas, Lions 27, Browns 17. Okay. Aleem ready? Let's hope so. Hookadoo. Okay, Coach Rock, my dad plays, hockey for MSU back in the day. Mary Smith, if you're thinking Johnny Moe gave Cleveland some motivation, he did it on purpose, but what he didn't do was limit their overthinking about our boys. Yeah, it could be some reverse psychology. Maybe if I give them one thing, I show them another thing, maybe it upsets them. I don't know. Coach Rock, good morning, Mary and Johnny L. The grit is here this morning. Woo! Ching. Eloquent Muhammad is the new Aquaman. Might be accurate. Ken Egon, AQM has a good swim move. He's got a motor that is just going like the Energizer battery. Robert, it's amazing to me that Swift has not been injured as much since he left the Lions. He did not want to be here. I think maybe it could be that, Robert, to your point. It could also be that he understands if he doesn't start playing in games more and more, he's going to get labeled a injured player, and then he has less value. I don't know, man. I'm just, who knows what it is. Thomas, how's Maki? Anyone hear anything? He apparently still hurt. Said Joseph. Johnny L. Grit Morning Rock. Coach Rock, good luck, Stephanie. Keep your left up. Let's see. Brent Ahmed's father was saying he's 6 weeks away. Johnny L. We'll find out. JK Robert was saying with Jeff Okuda. Johnny L. Brent, thank you. Rondo of North Carolina, possibly Chicago, want to increase their fumble count. Could be some outside the box thinking there. Look it's just Ahmed can't come back until week 9. That is correct. Yes. Thomas, key to Sunday's game. Again, the offensive line, keep Goff clean and roadblock the running game. Exclamation point. Our D gets 5 sacks. Let's hope so. Coach Rock, this is some good football weather up north, Miles Margaret. The grip must have something to do with it, and just hope we don't pay for it later. We'll find out. Crayon eating, all right. Well, I don't encourage that myself, but hey, go with what works for you. The Bears let money go because that was during their running backs aren't worth big money era. Teams have since learned that is incorrect. People used to think Gibbs' pick was a mistake too. You're not wrong with any of the above, man. You think back how the media attacked us for taking a running back at 12, Campbell, a linebacker at 18. Now, nobody thinks that way because they see what the Lions have done. Paid Blanks 84. Johnny L, the crown means you've hit his 2 best fans. Okay. Paid Banks, second. All right. JC. Greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Back at you with an exclamation point. JK. Crown means hell's on wheels. All right. Meg also, I'm a Dave Montgomery fan, but he does have a habit of having ticky-tack injuries in the second half of the season. Might be a reason why the Bears let him walk. Yeah, could be, 100%. Now, Miles, I know, right? Coach Rock, it's a bumper crop this year of acorns. Never so many. Traditional knowledge says that means bad winter. We'll see. Hookadoo, And the second of the things he did where his brother's fault, not the gun was his brother's, the post of the internet, his brother's, J-Mo didn't do squat. Yeah, I like J-Mo. I really like him as a person. I like where he's going as a player. I think all's good with him. Johnny L. Sonic and Knuckles, baby. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Coach Rock, Hooker, did your dad play for my friend Ron Mason or before him? We'll find out. Silver, start D-Money, soften the defense with him, then let them feel every hit. Right on that first play of the game, defenses are quick to react, easier for them to foul Gibbs, Monty, more effective there. All right, Thomas, just a thought, question mark. Who here will be willing to give Hutch $50 million per year? Me, no way. 4 years, 160 max with incentives up to 50. Well, we'll see if that works. If Hutch says no, are you willing to let him walk? I guess that's what it ultimately comes down to. Phil, attempts to destroy the locker room seem to happen every year. Is all this true, or is this media causing drama? Who's trying to kill the locker room? I guess. Maybe somebody is. I guess I don't know about that. Hookadoo. In the 50s, Rock graduated in 57. Miles Marker, Sewell, highest PFFF grade ever. Might be accurate. I don't know that, though. Detroit Diesel, what up, Duke Crew? Woo! Back at you with a dab, I guess. Let's see, Detroit Diesel. That line bulldozed. Yes, it did. I hope it does it again this week. Sir, Shep said he thinks they gave away at least 2 DTs. Said the defense just started. Yeah. And, it takes time from the gel. The other team comes out ready to play too. I think he's done a pretty good job making in-game adjustments. Talking about Kelvin Shepard. Thomas, let's just say this. The numbers for our offensive linemen better be the same versus Cleveland. That D is much better than the Ravens. I will agree with that. Johnny L., I love Shep. I think most of us do now. The C, Detroit Diesel, do you still believe we need D-line depth? Yes, can never have enough. Offensive line, defensive line. I always think you can never have enough. Larry, like to hear what everyone honestly thinks about the Lions' win-loss record will be after the first 3 games. I think I had us at 3-1. I'd have to go back and look, but I want to say I had us finishing with 11 or 12 wins, something in that range. Ryan, I was a J-Mo basher, but he has grown up. He has proven to be an asset for the team, and now I'm eating crow. It happens, man. Throw some hot sauce on it. Coach Rock, Hookadoo, then your dad played for Emilio Besto at MSU. Good to know. Silver, Thomas Donner, 4 years, 160 million. Sounds all right. He'd be able to buy groceries and cigarettes. Hey, might be able to sneak a few in. JK, Professor Steele repping. He is indeed. Egon, PFF's YouTube channel, did a video on Sewell and how he had the best game by an NFL offensive lineman ever. He was out there, man, and he was mashing, wasn't he? Troy Diesel, I still believe we need defensive line help, but never lose faith. I did believe we lost a step on week 1, but always said the starters need more preseason work. Yeah, I've commented for years. I would play him in the preseason. I'm not MCDC. Every coach has their own ways. There's a lot of people that look at my offense and my defenses and think they're total trash. And all I say is, hey, 36 years, I've won 91% of my games. How are you doing? All right, Ken J-Mo has shown a lot of perseverance and maturity. He has, man. JK, Johnny, motivation, just saying. Lions 34, Browns 24. I'll take that. Johnny L, this season we are going to be great. I think so. Thomas, absolutely silver, sir. But like I say, I'm going to go bankrupt the team for one guy unless we win a Super Bowl and MVP. Stuff is where I throw the bonuses in. We'll see what shakes out, man. I think it ultimately comes down to if you don't pay him, somebody else is going to pay him. Let's see. Detroit Diesel, 38-20. JK, what up, Johnny L? Motown Mitch, Lions by $2 billion over the Browns. I like the way you're thinking. Write that one down. Detroit, still a Schwartz defense. It is. Mary Smith, so we got 38-27 Browns. Lions over the Browns. Johnny L, what up, though? JK is Jim Shorts. All right. Angie, Browns won't score over 20 points, in your opinion. You might be right. I had to clear my throat. Coach Rock, the Browns will concentrate on the run game now, so it would be pass happy. Ooh, could be. Do a lot of play action pass on first and second down. What are you doing? My dad would always tell us stories back in the day as we would walk by the old ice house on our walk to MSU games. Yeah, I'm really disappointed I couldn't go to the game this week with the neighbors, man. I really was looking forward to it. Maybe go to another one this year. All right, Miles Martin, this game might turn out like last year's game with Arizona. I can't even talk. Arizona. Lots of D and punts, except Goff has more options than ever, and Shep can adjust in game. He does a pretty good job. Crayon Eating, if the Browns score 20 plus, the Lions really didn't have a good day. That might be accurate. Well said, my friend. Lions 37, mistake by the late 24, exclamation point. Oh, yeah. JK, someone say Ice House. There was Ice House, Budweiser. Okay. Jonathan, good morning. Back at you. JK is shocked. Courtney, alcohol use leads to injury prone. Okay. Coach Rock, I see that Miles Marker with the Acorns have an oak tree out there with 10 squirrels repping for winter. Not good. All right, prepping for winter. How about that? Jonathan, Tigers won last night. I seen that. I did see that. So I think they're tied, but they lose the tiebreaker because the Guardians, or whatever they're called now, the Cleveland Indians, have the tiebreaker in the series. Who do? Yeah, JK, I was talking to Coach Rock about my dad playing at MSU. Eddie's Fish, St. Brown was fiber, 42,000. How about finding players for illegal chop blocks? I saw Craig Reynolds was possibly getting traded. He wasn't active. We'll see what shakes out. JK, oh, gotcha, Hookadoo. Eddie's Fish, I think if you're going to find players that are on the Lions, then find those teams for their chop blocks. They probably will. They probably will throw out some fines. Ryan, I'm all aboard with Shep. 30 points allowed won't become normal. Lions 34. Okay. Hookadoo, I've got to get into listening mode. I got to get ready to run up to Detroit. Talk to you guys all tomorrow. Keep the grit. We'll see you then, my friend. Ken, I got a feeling that 57 yard average is going to balloon after Hank's tanks. The deck, the dirtbags, the professor, the mullet, and the Samoan blaze a trail down the field for Sonic and Knuckles. Could be right. I hope we run for 3,000 yards on him in the first quarter. Maleficent Fisher, it's happening. Got in his feelings. It's all good. Morton is a fiery personality. He surprises at all the podium. Browns bring their A game. Great. Iron sharpens iron. Exclamation point. Our guys love the challenge. I think you could be right. JK, Browns better than Cincy and Ohio. Might be true. Johnny, I'll see you tomorrow. Hookadoo. Coach Rock, St. Brown slipped down on the block and they levy a $42,000 fine. That shows what the NFL thinks Detroit. That's a joke. I'll go with that. Yeah, 100%. Mary Smith, have a good one, Hookadoo. See you in the morning. We'll see you then. Coach Rock, take it easy, Hookadoo. Johnny L. Roger Goodell is that good. Sir. Well, that's the thing with a 42. What's the thing with a $42,000 fine? We'll find out. Miles Mark, good luck with you. Jeep, safe journey, Hookadoo. Hookadoo, waving goodbye, Silver Server. Coach Rock, granddaughter called and asked for a ride to school, so we'll go pick her up when we left off later. One pride, grit. There you go. You enjoy the time with the granddaughter. Crayon eating, Silver Server. I'm around, may not have dropped an N-bomb right by a microphone when he scored TD. Could be. Johnny L, see you later, Rock. Silver Server, oh yeah, I had forgotten about Jim Schwartz. Boy, I know how it's going to be a long game, a difficult game. Might be indeed. Michael, Packers, laughing out loud. NFL media already had them as Super Bowl champions before the season even started, is how unintelligent they are. Concur. Miles Mark, go safely. There you go. Ryan, if we win our one-on-ones, we'll dominate Lions 31-9. I like the way you're thinking. Melissa and Fisher, I will be at Ford Field Sunday. Exclamation point, can't wait. I love the energy the Lions bring when they come home for a good road game. Go Lions. Go enjoy it, my friend. Crayon eating, oh my goodness, says Silver Sir. JK, no game is a cakewalk. You're not wrong, especially at the NFL level. Johnny L, you are correct. Ryan, I think Flacco is going to throw 3 or 4 INTs, and Goff is going to throw for over 300 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Ryan, let's go Lions. There you go. All right, guys, we got about 2 or 3 minutes left, so I'm going to power through and get people on who haven't been on as much. All right, Shade C, let's go Lions, exclamation point. I'm down with that. Miles Margaret, Coach Dan, maybe show key play and then use your whiteboard breakdown again, like you've done before. Yeah, maybe we can do something like that. JDC, Dre's 4 rocks, and he rolls. The Rebel, good morning, Coach Dan and the Drew Crew. Back at you. Michael, Lions win 34-0, exclamation point. Our defense will be all over the offense. We'll end up with great field position the whole game. Browns defense plays better at home than on the road. Yeah, you could be right on all that. Leo, their great defense is not as great as our great offense. Beating on the defense while motivating will be great test for us. Yes, indeed, with that. I like the way you're thinking. Dominic, good morning from Texas. Back at you. Even Lokes. Hey, Coach, the Bears had a backup named Herbert that was averaging more yards than D-Money, so they found out the hard way that being a bell cow is a different animal, very similar to Gibbs Money. Yeah, you're probably spot on with that. All right, James, I think the only thing that's wrong with TA is that he isn't fast enough to cover wide receivers who are faster than him. Could be. Trim Reaper, let's go Lions. Woo! Exclamation point. Henry Morton. And only 2 other running back teams in the history of the NFL that are in the Hall of Fame. Our tandem has surpassed both of them. They have indeed. Trevin, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Exclamation points. Go Lions. Famous RW. Good morning, Coach and crew. Same to you. Amy, good morning, Dan, the ultra fabulous Duke crew. Exclamation point. Gosh, Morton keeps to his comments to himself. Everyone have a super day. Same to you, my friend, as always. Coach Tiny K, hey, Coach Duke crew. Exclamation point. I missed the big news. I got to catch the replay. Catch on up. Hey, Danica, what do you got? Prime TA redemption arc starts here. I like the way you're thinking. Silver. Danica, let's hope so. Perhaps they'll play him at nickel. Maybe. Jason, would love to see you break down plays and describe the schemes live. That would be awesome. Hopefully you do it. Yeah, I'm going to work on that, I think. William, JMO and St. Brown are the hardest blocking wide receivers in the league. Watch JMO break down Fields run blocks that open up big runs versus Ravens. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff like most of this Lions team. They do things that don't always show up unless you watch the film, etc., etc. Hey, buddy. Hello, Duke crew. Good to see you, man. Man, it has been a hot minute. How you doing over in Paw Paw, my friend? Tell that isn't your money. This is true. Bo, 16-9 Lions. Legatron gets another shot at the record. I'll take that. The Trim Reaper Lions win 28-14. Oh, yeah. Have faith in the Lions. They will win. I'm going to keep the faith in for sure. Drevin, let's show Green Bay how to beat the Browns. I like the way you're thinking. Trim, I stand corrected. Why you're on? Oh, okay. I see what you did there. The movie quote there. The non-levers, I was surprised to see TA got benched. Johnny Gaz, happy Friday, Duke crew, exclamation point. Carrie, I don't think so. Maybe low scores for the Browns. Could be. Mary, have a blessed day. Everyone, see you in the morning. We'll see you then. Carrie, Flacco doesn't stand a chance. Fern, good morning, Coach and crew. Miles Marca, hiya, Johnny Gas Sports. Miles Marca, 1 prime, 2 and 1. The Trim Member, what up, though, Johnny Gas? We'll find out. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do a good thing for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys and gals all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.